I This is so much fun. I can't believe I haven't done this before with all of you.
No.
It's amazing. So I'm Tiana, as everybody knows, or you should know, with TianaSmithCoaching.com. And we're here live on Facebook, and we'll be live in some other groups, and there'll be a replay. I want to take a moment to introduce my co-hosts and guests today on this very special holiday fun event. So I'm going to go through each person, and then we're all going to just start to chat, but I'll just introduce everyone. It's going to be really fun. So to my left, wherever this is showing up on the line, is Dr. Liz Jenkins. Liz, will you wave at everybody?
Hey,
That's
it's me.
Liz.
Hi, how are you?
And she's with drlizcoaching.com. And any of them you should follow after the call. Stay focused with us, but definitely follow the tag. Dr. Liz is a relationship coach, and she helps couples connect and reconnect to save marriages and partnerships. She's been a therapist for years and years, and she also helps single, powerful women reclaim their self-love to also attract true, healthy love. And Dr. Liz is a client of mine, and she's also helped me as a powerful single woman with boundaries and love, and she's incredible. So let's all hear it for Dr. Liz.
Thank you.
I'm going to introduce everybody at the same time because we're all going to kind of talk and take turns. To my bottom left is Jules Hurst with JulesHurst.com. Jules, will you wave at everybody?
Hello.
And Jules is a sought-after business and social etiquette expert, co-author of The Power of Civility. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
I'm like, how is my etiquette? Her mission is to empower you with social skills, leadership, and confidence through the lens of etiquette. Isn't that wonderful? Let's hear it for Jules.
Yay.
We all need a little etiquette help during the holiday season.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I actually have a really good one. We're going to circle back to one of the best things. I'm just going to say it now because who knows what will happen if I keep going. Then I'm going to get to Jeff. But before I get to Jeff, so I was in a mastermind event, and there was this older lady there at the time, and she was very wise and not the typical age group for the mastermind. And I was like listening to what she says, and she was so wise. And this is one of the best business life tips, autoresponders, emails ever. You guys ready for it? Anytime anybody gives you their unsolicited advice, whether it's in business or something like that, she goes, "Thank you so much for that. I'll take it into consideration." And that has been one of the best one-liners I've ever heard. Just try not to say it sarcastically when you say it.
Tone.
Yeah, tone makes a difference.
Yeah.
So moving on to Jeff Meyer. Jeff is such an incredible person, just like Dr. Liz and Jules. He helps heart-centered, global-minded leaders reignite their dream and bring it to life with his proven dream architect system and support. He's a coach, a pastor, an author, and so glad to have you, Jeff. Will you wave? I mean, you're the only man on here, but let's see. I guess here for Jeff. I like it.
Represent.
Yes, represent the men. I'm sorry that it's a little unbalanced, but it makes up for the majority of life in other situations. So it's okay. You got it. Jeff, you have a lot of daughters too, right? A wife and daughter.
I have a lot of daughters. I have 4 daugers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of daughters. I have one, and it feels like a lot. It's perfect and it's wonderful. I feel like a lot with myself as a woman. I feel like this is what I'm going to try to handle myself. I know. Like, speaking of which, I feel like it might be time for a Christmas song. I'm just kidding. It's really just a prop. It's not in tune today. So we want to thank everyone for joining us live, whether you're on Zoom or live on Facebook. And we're really going to roundtable talk. I'm going to take each of them one by one, and they're going to give you their holiday tip in their niche. That's why I introduced each person. And then we're going to all kind of talk about each person's tip and how that relates to us, or if we totally disagree, and then we're going to get in a really entertaining fight. So either way, it's going to be a really good time because that's who we are. Can't you tell? I love fighting. Confrontation, my favorite. So, yeah, working through things. Liz would be good. You could mediate.
I was gonna say, I'm just taking some notes,
Yeah, I know. She's already analyzing me. It's okay. I can take it. So why don't we start with Dr. Liz, and all of us will contribute. Do you know what you would like to talk about? And just take the floor, Liz.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I want to just thank you again for bringing this in and having us have such a wonderful time hanging out, and maybe I get to referee in my off time type of thing.
Yeah, that sounds so fun.
Right. I know. And it's been wonderful, and I just really want to thank you for all of your systems and getting me up and running and bolting everything together so I could even be here tonight with you guys. So
You're
thank you.
welcome. You're a pleasure to work with.
Oh, thank you. I'll remember that. Taking notes.
I let Liz come and stay in my house. I mean, she paid for it, but I hope it was worthwhile.
It was. Well, I guess you both paid for it, huh? 'Cause I
did. So many ways. Those are secrets. What happens at Tiana's house stays at Tiana's house.
That's fun. It was fun. And very life-changing. It's been charming. So
all of you guys are like TV personalities. I feel like the star is born is happening. I'm like seeing all of you in your element. It's beautiful. So go ahead, Liz, take it away for us.
Okay, can I share my holiday tip?
Please.
Oh, right. I love this one. I'm so grateful that I get to share something more with people. Here's what I want you to do. The holidays are so jam-packed with things, right? There's things to purchase, things to wrap. I'm still working on beautiful decorations go up as Jules is displaying. I have Christmas decoration envy. That's what we do. Right?
It's epic. Right. I don't have one Christmas decoration behind me right now.
I'm going, I guess, tropical.
Yeah, I do downstairs. She's like, I wish I was in Costa Rica. I'm like, me too.
I know. I'm healed. So I really want people to just like stop for a moment. That's what it really is. It's 4 steps. I want you to pause. We've got so much clutter. So many things are pulling us back and forth in different directions. And so often we forget these transitions that are huge, huge, huge. So pause, stop a moment. I want you to do a self-assessment. Look inside yourself. What's going on in your head? What's going on in your heart? Where's your energy? You want to get some clarity around that, and just like go on out into whatever event. And so I want you then, if you start keying into those, adjust accordingly. If you decided that you're anxious, we want to duly note that. If we're feeling rushed, like I said, high expectations. The turkey's got to be perfect, and this has got to be all right. And and will they like this gift? Or there's triggers, right?
No, I don't feel that at all this time.
I know.
Not like every day, 10 times a day.
Okay. All right. Well, we can talk, because then we'll help you, adjust. But you identify these triggers. Maybe you're going over to the in-laws and you're trying to think, am I gonna, or you've got a long ride and you're not looking forward to it, whatever it might be, you adjust accordingly because you've noticed it. And so the key is here that we're going to manage before we get into that event. And so we're preparing. If we know that we're going to be hit up with, maybe we're going in solo this year. And so we're going into a family event, and a trigger is that I'm solo, and I'm going into the family, and I know that they're going to ask me, am I not in a relationship? Why didn't I bring somebody? I need to manage before. I need to come up with my one-liner, like Tiana, your wise sage who defends you, and be ready, because it's when you're thinking on your feet and you're in that event during the event, you can't do it. You can't do it, or you won't do it as well as you'd like to. So by adjusting accordingly, you're creating the fix. You're identifying what you need to do. If you're tired, maybe you need to eat. Maybe you need to take a break. Maybe you need to dial back some of your expectations. It doesn't matter. It's your holiday. The bottom line is I want you to enjoy your holiday, whether you're showing up as a couple or as Jeff with his 4 daughters and probably crew type of thing.
And his wife. I was like, when you said showing up as a couple, I was like, or as hopeful with a mistletoe ready to go for who you so choose.
There you go. Well, carry that mistletoe with you. Okay. There's the fix. You just you just solved your own thing. But wherever it is, I want you to get clear about how you want your holiday. And each of these events means you need to stop and do an assessment about yourself and then move forward and enjoy. So I hope that's helpful.
Those were great. I would love to hear, Jeff and Jules' insight. Did you guys have anything pop up with Liz? Like those, that was a very thoughtful. I was thinking about each of those things myself and how to apply.
The minute that she mentioned pausing, I thought of breathing. We forget to breathe. And I'm learning, my daughter is part of our Dream Accelerator, and she's taught me about the vagus nerve that runs from the lower stem of our brain down through every organ of our body. And breathing helps massage that, and it helps everything calm down. So pause, breathe, take a second breath, take a third breath. So that's, I even closed my eyes when you said pause, because this time of year we're just running, aren't we? And it's a very good reminder to pause.
Yeah, so my tip is going to piggyback along with Dr. Liz. And when you were talking about the decoration, so I do the hosting, which I love hosting, but at the time, decorating, even just doing this mantle took me some time, and I've been doing kind of similar looks for some years, and I was getting frustrated because I couldn't remember how I did it last year. What was this for? And then my heart starts to beat really fast. I'm like, you know what? Just who cares?
I know.
My brothers and my sister, they might, jokingly say, oh, that wasn't there. But at the end of the day, it's not, we have to remember what this is about. It's about coming together. It's about being in each other's presence, because life is so short. And it's just like this, things can change in your life, right? Someone's here and then they're not. So at the end of the day, that's what we need to focus on, not on the decorations and the this and the that and the perfect turkey.
I know, the turkey, that's the big thing, right? And not about, are they going to remember I wore the same dress last year kind of thing.
Yeah, and if they do,
That's always a big one for me. I get all stressed out about that
every
one.
time they're like, you're wearing a dress again, Jeff. You're like, it's my Christmas dress. I wear every Christmas.
Liz said I could enjoy my holidays however I wanted. So Here we go.
I know, there is a thing about just deciding which thing to wear every year. There's the mentality behind that. Just being like, maybe we just say, hey, every year I'm wearing this dress, so watch it now. Like Jeff's dress. I love that. That's funny.
Thanks, guys.
I like all of it. So yeah, Liz, let's hear it for Liz and her tip though, because we're into clapping and I'm into cheering. I've always said I actually do have a mini keyboard. I should have had it hooked up. It's in here. I want to have it where there's the clapping on it. Remember my old Casio keyboard when I was learning piano? I'd be like, clap, 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 clap. I'm like, why isn't that? I need a clapping one, but we can clap. Thank you, Liz. That was wonderful.
You're welcome.
So Jules, you said your tip piggybacks with hers, or did you already kind of share it? Or would you like to take the turn now?
Sure. So my tip is all on the hostess side again, because that's my role during the holidays. So I just feel like we really need to just be mindful again, like Dr. Liz said. It doesn't have to be perfect. It kind of at some point it is what it is, right?
Yes.
But so when you go so for the guests, so when you're asked to bring something, just keep in mind that whatever dish or item you're asked to bring is not the same thing as a hostess gift. So there are two different things. So as you're going out and you are, yes, bring a casserole, but that casserole, okay, that's my hostess gift. No, it's not. Not only that, if you happen to bring wine as the hostess gift, don't expect it to be, used for the meal. So, so if I take the wine that you give me and I put it away, you can't say, well, hey, that was for dinner. Was this for me or was this for dinner?
Like, that was for bed for later.
That's
the hostess gift.
That's really.
Can I take that home with me if they don't use it?
Yeah, exactly. I brought that for me for later, thinking it wouldn't get used.
Oh,
Look,
nobody used it.
I feel like go ahead, Jules.
I guess, be mindful of the conversations, also too, especially, like with COVID, people wanting to talk about it, not wanting to talk about it. take when you're talking about something, take a look at the person's body language. That will tell you everything you need to know. If they're doing this, that means they want to engage with you. If they're starting to do this, that means stop talking, pivot the conversation.
Pivot.
So,
Pivot.
pivot quickly before things are getting, I don't know about your family, but I've seen some.
Nice. That sounds really
Really
fun. I want to go to somebody's family thing that has that, but I feel emotionally disconnected because they're not mine. So then it's like a really good thing for me.
So you can sit back and go, oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I'm like, oh, cool. Like, awesome. Crazies in every family. I love this. Not today, not mine. I'm not with them, but I'm going to watch yours. Yeah, I love it. That's a
so
great
funny.
tip. So lean back and you're saying to look at their body language. Now, what about when somebody has a problem like me, where I enjoy in the moment making other people feel awkward, so that if everybody feels awkward, we're all awkward together. And that literally sometimes becomes a problem. What would you say?
I can see that.
Yeah. Happening right now.
That's funny.
I usually do know how to read the room, but I do feel like if they're not reading the room, that it's my duty to make them feel more awkward than how they're making all of us feel. But this is why I do Zoom calls instead of work for others. Those are great tips though. Have you guys run into like Liz or Jeff, like what Jules is talking about? Have you ever run into that or like learned something about what she's saying?
Well,
And leave these in your pockets.
Oh.
Stay unplugged. Pay attention to everybody around you. Put these away. I have a basket that my niece and my nephew always fight over who's gonna, and they collect all the phones when we're gonna eat. And then when we're done, can we get our phones back now? But at least we're done with so at least during the
That's a
meal,
great idea.
it's just us talking to each other, like the good old days, like when we were growing up.
That's right.
All of us getting each other in trouble. I'm one of 5, so.
That's important. You know, I went to see, and I know Jeff, you were going to say something. I went to see Dave Chappelle, the comedian, like 5 or 6 weeks ago in Nashville. And I don't know if you guys have heard what he does, but when you walk in, they put everybody's phone in a sleeve. And when you go through the machine, like what would usually look like, let's say you had a gun on you, it closes the container that your phone is in, and nobody can open it until after the event.
Oh, wow.
It's really, so a whole stadium,
Cool.
it's really cool. And you are really present. And I mean, even me, where I try to be like, it's like taking it away. So even when you said put it in your pocket compared to like a basket, I love that. And I actually want to like get a cute little phone basket now. You should maybe market that.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be your
Make
good
it
free
fun.
offer. This is a great free offer for you, Jules.
Oh, you're right.
Yes. And it would just be a great one, just even besides holiday parties, where you could put together this checklist with cute little pictures too, like say what it looks like, the basket, reading body, just those 3 tips are great. Don't you guys think that would be a great thing for Jules to put together?
That'd be great.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeff, what were you going to say about that? I'm sorry. And then Liz, if I interrupted you.
I was just going to say Monday night, I had that experience. We went to a gathering and we brought a bottle of wine and it didn't get opened. And I was sitting at supper looking at the bottle of wine going, am I taking that home or is that going to stay there?
I love it.
It seems like a waste if we're not going to open it.
Yeah.
So it's a good reminder that once you give it, it's not yours, it's theirs, and they can choose to do with it what they want.
That's a very deep concept right there. And I'm going to chip in right here because that has been, that's love without strings attached, right? It's,
Right.
It's a gift. So that's a very deep thing. And so when you give to people, we are really trained to be expectant of what they're doing with it, right? And that's why it's very important when we give to others to not, I don't think to consider it a loan. Like, you know, when you loan something to people, how they say, like, maybe have the mentality, like you're never getting it back. And you'll usually be a lot more free about yourself. And what a great concept. And Jeff, I love that you're so vulnerable to like open up and be like, I was looking at that bottle of wine. And it's also it's an interesting thing that it's like not even a bad expectation, because it could be like, oh, do they not like the wine? But it could be they wanted it for themselves later, and because it's their hostess gift or their host gift. And when I lived in Ukraine, so I lived in Ukraine for about 5 months, something that I just absolutely loved about their culture was that anytime you went to somebody's house, daytime or went to church together or sat at, if you went to someone's house, like everybody brought a gift for the host or the hostess every time. It was without exception. And this is in a country that they were typically extremely poor, but they would still stop and get a container of juice or a box of chocolates is typically what they would buy, or cookies. It was usually cookies, a box of juice, or chocolates, depending on that person's budget. And it was like a non-negotiable. You don't go to somebody's house empty-handed. And I really want to I've been thoughtful of that typically, but this just reminds me to continue that, because I think that that's such a beautiful thing to just carry with you. We get the choice that even if our culture doesn't do that, we can choose these things that we learn from others, and like what Jules sharing, to give to others and to be generous, and it's beautiful. So I'm so glad you brought that up, Jules.
Thank you. Okay.
Love without strings attached. The wine and think that it's mine.
Well, I've noticed that the etiquette has dropped. I mean, I hear so many folks on my side that maybe they're planning a wedding or an event, or even at house, and they ask for RSVPs, and somehow it seems to be now thought about as optional. And so not only do I love that you're saying remember the host or the hostess with their own gift, but also, if you feel like you want to bring some food item or whatever, go ahead and bring that as well. Or if you've been nominated to do that. In fact, I had a client that just said she had to make sure she told her brother that you're bringing the turkey, but it has to be cooked, because he will just
turkey.
What if it was turkey slices? I like turkey slices.
No, it's raw. It was raw.
I know what you meant.
Raw. So I thought that worked. So I really love that, because it really brings back that appreciation for the host of all the work that you're putting into holding this event. So
I always ask, because I will. For Thanksgiving, my mom takes care of everything, but for all the other holidays, I usually get the meat, and then everybody brings everything else. But I will always ask, if you need, utensils, if you're going to need bowls, if you're going to need an outlet, if you're going to need something, let me know, because I have my own things going on. So if you're going to bring stuff that needs to be cooked or warmed or kept warm, as a hostess, you need to let them know that too. Is there space for me to keep this warm? Don't just go and assume that you can just plug it in. I'm going, or I'm just going to set it up there. Well, we should never assume anyway, but especially, right, we never assume. One would never assume, but
none of us ever assume anything.
I know, I don't.
That doesn't get me into trouble every other day.
but at least let them know, hey, I'm taking this dish. Because, when I say bring an appetizer, bring whatever you want, it doesn't matter to me. But if it's something that needs to be in a crock pot kept warm, let them know, hey, I'm taking something in a crock pot. Will there be room for me to, to plug it in? Yes. Yes or no. And then you adjust accordingly. So nothing like communication.
Right. I mean, I know we have so many food allergies too. So it's kind of important to also maybe mention that if your family
bring your own EpiPen, maybe make sure somebody's bringing that.
But true. Yeah.
Think about etiquette in the way when I've heard you, on your TikToks and on your videos, and now is it seems like it's communication and thoughtfulness, which I love both those things.
Yeah. Respect. Yeah. Just good old fashioned respect.
I like good old-fashioned respect. That would be a nice t-shirt line for you. Good old-fashioned respect. I love it. Well, thank you, Jules, so much. And we're going to keep chatting because we still have a few more people, Jeff and me, a few more. We have two. But we're going to keep chatting and moving, and any thoughts that come up is good, because that's what we're here for right now. We're here for each other. Phones are in a basket. I have mine close by in case I needed to screen share for some reason, but I don't love to screen share from my phone for multiple reasons. Okay,
well, I guess Jeff, you're the host, so you get this on, right?
I know. Did you guys bring me anything? No, I'm just kidding. Jeff, would you like to take the floor and tell us what your holiday tip is for today?
Well, this is a great time of year to be thinking about 2021 and to be thinking about 2022.
That's right.
Someone just recently posted, when you look at 2022, it's like 2020 TOO or TWO, and everyone, oh no, not another one.
Yeah.
No.
But
no, this is a great time of year to be reflecting on what's happened over the last 12 months. And so my encouragement is take some time. I would encourage a block of 3 hours sometime between now and January 1st. Take 3 hours just with yourself, maybe a loved one that's really close to you. You can do this together if you've got a partner or your wife or your husband, and do it together, but take it, block it out and think about what are the top 3 things that you're thankful for and you want to celebrate from this past year. We too often just move on to the next thing without thinking about what's happened. So let's think about what happened this year and what do we want to celebrate. This can be anything from personal to business related to relationally, and just celebrate the 3 things, top 3. We do this during our birthdays with our daughters every year during their birthday. Okay, what are your top 3? And it's been always such an engaging conversation to have our girls think about their top 3 things they want to celebrate. Also, what do you want to do for 2022? What do you want to accomplish? Take yourself to December 31st, 2022, and put yourself in that future. And what has happened in your relationships? What has happened at work? What has happened in your home? Did you set up a cool office space where you can shoot videos? And that can become a goal that you want to achieve. What do you want to accomplish in your health? What do you want to accomplish with your character? What kind of fun things do you want to do this year? Where do you want to travel? What things do you want to do to improve yourself? And sit down and write about it. Journal. Put on some great music, put on some Christmas music, probably without lyrics for me, because when the lyrics come up, I start wandering around with my head. And get your favorite drink, light a candle, get comfortable, and spend 3 hours celebrating this past year and looking forward to next year. And if you're bold enough, take some of that time in that 3-hour chunk and dream about the next 5 years. Stretch yourself and ask yourself questions like, what would I do if I weren't afraid? What have I always wanted to do? What have I talked about doing, incessantly over the last number of years, but I haven't taken any action on? What action might I take? And, we talk about planning our year, but a lot of times we're just planning based on what we're already doing. I would encourage you to plan based on what dreams might be latent in your soul that you want to be able to pursue.
Beautiful, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. I was building your funnel this morning to make sure it was done for today. And I was listening to you as I was building some things to make sure, like the terms and everything. And you talked about similar things like this. And I'm so excited that it's done, because Jeff did create a really beautiful walkthrough of what he's talking about. That would be a great guide for those 3 hours. And I also really love that you just said about the gratitude, and I'll let them chip in, but I was really touched in my heart right now. And I wanted to say something. I was recently looking at what do I want to be done with in 2021? And I am definitely a little bit of a perfectionisty person, and that has served me, and it's also hindered me, and to not always celebrate the great things that have going on. And actually, and I'll share this, I feel called to share this too. So I was going through, let's say 5 days ago, around my birthday last week, about that. Okay, so thinking of what do I not want, but I didn't really celebrate 3 great things I've done. And I've done a lot of great things this year. Yeah. And I also, I wanted to see how much money I needed to make for an end of year goal to do a push, not just December, but the whole year. Do you know I was over $100,000 off on my profits? Because I literally didn't know, which also shows other things about me, but I didn't take what's the word called when you don't take inventory of where you're coming from, because I'm typically focused on stretching for the next thing. And this is something I need to work on. And so I love that you said that, to celebrate our wins, to be in gratitude, and then to also release the things and focus more on what we want to create. I'm very touched by what you do. I'm blessed to get to work with you, and each of you has changed my life. So I'm sure you ladies have some awesome things that you want to say about what Jeff just shared too.
Yes, if I'll jump in there, when you said basically dream forward, it's when we start to set up the 2022 goals, you're planning, and like that wasn't like a big hit for me, because yes, you're right. I roll from, we just turn the next page in the calendar. Okay, 2022. I still have these open items. I'm going to keep working on it and not give a lot of mindset, or even pause again, step back and breathe and like massage that vagus nerve. And and it's just like, okay, well, what else, beyond the busyness stuff here, what's the bigger dream? What is it that I'm wanting that keeps me up at night, that drives me, that's going to get over it? So thank you. That was a big one.
I loved how you shared, go to December 31, 2022 and think back, what do you want to have seen done, happen, et cetera. And yeah, that's exactly like Dr. Liz said, there's some things I want to do, and I need to figure out what it is, because I get into this overload, as Tiana knows. I want to do all these things, and I do absolutely nothing, because I get into that whole paralysis, analysis paralysis, and I'm like, oh, and then I just get so overwhelmed, and then I just wind up doing nothing, and then things happen, as instead of me taking control, it controls me, and that's never in a good place to be. So I need to do what you said and go to that space, write it out, and then go backwards, and then figure out, okay, what is it that I'm going to start with, and then start mapping it out.
Yeah, we in the Dream Accelerator, it's a year-long coaching program. I actually have people write out a 5-year vivid description of their dream. But I always coach them on this. I say, you need to write it in the present tense, as if you're standing there then.
Right.
Not you will do this, you will do that. Paint the picture as if you're living in it right now, and then pull back from that and develop a plan to move forward.
That was I love that you mentioned that. I was going to say it too. I'm so glad you brought it up, because one of the big changes in my mind when I was going through a lot of the self-development, learning more about business, doing business and calling myself a business owner and entrepreneur led me down a bunny trail of self-development. And one of my millionaire mentor friends that really helped me taught that exact thing, Jeff, where he said, have it in the first person. And if any of you guys have noticed on any of the affirmations I give you in the vision boards and everything, and the goal setting for your finances, I've one right here. I have an extra, fill in the blank, or more coming into my bank account by or before. So you can still set goals, but it's having it in the I have. And just yesterday, because I've been practicing that for years now too. And it does put you in a different space, because it puts you really in the space. So if you were like, I really want this home in Laguna Beach with a pool, instead you're like, I have a home in Laguna Beach with the pool, and it looks like this Italian amazing chalet or French chalet, whatever way you want to say the correct words. Before I said the word chalet, I was like, don't say it out loud, because I'm not sure how to say it correctly, but I said it anyway. And I know it's French, not Italian.
Villa. You're looking for villa.
The Italian villa, but it's a French chalet, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
I know. I'm just gonna mix it up, not my strength, but see the awkwardness. It's happening. See, I'm like, okay, bringing myself down. But the point is that it's like, then I start thinking like, oh, and to bring into this too is the visuals, right? And Jeff and I, we were working on your guidebook, and you did that, and you brought in the visuals for each area of life, right? These 8 key elements of life. And bringing in the visuals along with your words and your goals, I think, is very powerful. So
Absolutely.
powerful.
We're visual creatures.
We are visual.
Yeah.
Have you ever, so I will share like everything. No, so I was raised like my family, the women in it, and just the people I knew. I didn't know much of my extended family, but everyone that I could see didn't necessarily look, I have a fitness goal. Okay. And I never saw it. I didn't see it. My mom was adopted. And then even when we met her birth mother, everybody in the family that I saw, it was nothing like what I would like to create. And I was always told I could never have that because it's not in my gene pool and it's not who I am. And that's what I was told from a very young age. And even though I was actually like a gymnast and an athlete, but it was like, there was still this thing, like, you can't see it. Anyone ever struggle with that, whether it's body or whether it's in your business or your finances, your bank, like you're creating something you've not seen before. Right.
Yeah.
So I put it on my vision board and I said, you know what if it's possible to look at something every day and to start to say the words and to start to visualize it? What if my body could actually shift to that? And amazingly, it did. And I still work on it and I still have goals for it, but it's completely different shape, different body type than what it was before. Isn't that incredible? And that, let alone your bank account or a house you can build. So I just think anything is possible.
That's right.
Right. I think that's
Yeah.
powerful. And at the end, I will say, I'm going to screen share. I will put the links for your free offers. Liz has an amazing connection for couples or partnership, or even just connecting with yourself. You know, like when I was thinking about your free checklist, Liz, about how people can connect with each other. I mean, those are things you could connect with yourself until you have a partner too, or with friends, right? We went on walks together.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. You
Yeah.
held my hand so I wouldn't slip in
I did.
the mud and the water. You
You
made
know,
sure
if
I
you're
got
in a
home
waterfall,
safely.
yeah, you
Yeah.
got to hold someone's hand sometimes, like, and a tree. I got you.
I know.
Liz was like, is this safe? I have
walk.
like a rope around me. I'm lowering her down. I'm like, come on, Liz. I said we'd see a waterfall. Trust.
That would be a funny Photoshop.
It would, yeah.
Yeah,
Or we just
yeah.
make it happen. No, it was a
Yeah.
little slippery. Like,
No, I
seriously.
don't not need to go down
No.
Beaver.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We don't need to go down that.
I'll do the view from above.
Yeah, we can pretend like it's pretend. So I mean, this has been amazing. I guess I could talk about how to make some money during the business season, or how to wrap up your year and prepare for the new year. Does that sound interesting? For just a few
Yeah, always.
so my specialty is monetization and funnels, and, you know, getting to work with, look who I get to work with. You guys are amazing, and gals. I'm so blessed and so excited that you're here today. And thank you for sharing these tips. And I'd love your feedback on what I'll share. So one thing at this time of year, I usually love to just take it off if that's a possibility. And sometimes I just got to hustle through it, because I usually end up having an end of year goal. And then I'm like, I'll just take the first few days of January off, which usually works better for me anyway. So if you guys or anybody listening live wants to make some cash, has some goals that you're still trying to hit, your December goal and your end of year goal, I wanted to share some ways that you can truly bring in some cash fast, and it could help you and your business, and then also to prepare for 2022. So I think that to lead with, I think Jeff's advice about preparing for 2022, you can apply that and also take some time out for your business. Make sure you are writing down how much you want to make, and you could follow his guide. So I'll touch on something a little different, since you're going to have that resource, because he has it for free, because he's so generous. So for me, I'll just give you some fast action tips. I was talking about this on a shorter video. So number one is that you need to know how much you want to make. Just like what I was talking about, take inventory the last year. Make sure you've gone through your invoicing systems. If you haven't already, like today, tonight, make sure you know what your goal would be for the end of this year. So for the end of December and the end of this year. And then if you're also in a little bit more of a, I need cash now kind of situation, I know sometimes people message me and they're like, I want to buy some more Christmas presents, or I would still like to go on a vacation over Christmas break with my kids, or take a day trip even. It's not too late. And I just would like everybody to say out loud, it's never too late.
Never too late.
Never too
Never
late.
too late.
It's
Never
never
too late.
too late. It's never too late to make more cash, to have more fun, to set a new dream. It's just never too late, whether that's a tiny thing, it's today, or it's a year from now. That's a really important mindset. And the other mindset I want to share is be committed enough that you're willing to go to 11:59. And that really goes next level, because a lot of people give up. Let's say you set a Friday goal, or your goal was by Friday, Christmas Eve, and it's noon on the 24th and you're like, I didn't do it. So I'm not saying to hustle through the holidays. What I'm saying is that your heart is committed, that like when it's a break time, if you wanted that extra $500 or that extra $5,000, that you're willing to do what it takes to have the hope to follow up if somebody messages you until 11:59. There is something about a breaking point that I've found in life where I used to like set a goal. I had these sales goals and I would give up around Wednesday or Thursday because it looked like it wasn't going to happen. Anybody ever suffered with this before where you're just like, okay, my energy, it's like, no, it's just, I'm not seeing it come in.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do believe it's because if your heart, it's like a test and I can't explain it. I'm a woman of faith and there's the vibe and there's the universe, there's all that. But I'll just share what I've seen over and over and over again. It's a level of commitment that you're willing to do it day in, day out, no matter what, that you're willing to go to 11:59. If that deadline was that time, if it was 5 p.m. on Friday, if you said, I want that money by 11 a.m. by December 24th, like whatever that, if it was 10:59 a.m., whatever your deadline that you set for yourself, that you're willing to push it at 100% to believe that it's possible. And it's really a mind game because you're posting, right? You have the goods. You guys have all heard you're amazing, how excellent and educated each of you are on here, right? You're experts in your field for years. So why is it that when we stop short of the goal? And I think that don't stop short of the goal. It's like running a race and literally you're almost there and you're actually winning and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to stop right here. But I think because we can't always see the finish line and it's a faith finish line that you stop. And so I just want to really encourage people, the heart has to be there and to set that goal. And even if you don't hit the goal by then, that you still finish strong. Because I will tell you what you do now sets you up for a very profitable next week. Typically things sometimes do freeze up around this time and the 26th could be the best week of your year. A lot of times December 26th through the 31st has been the best week of my years. So I just want to encourage everyone that like you're planting seeds, you're watering it. The more seeds you plant, the more prospects you reach out to. Let's talk in real terms here. The more prospects, the more times you post, the more eyeballs that see your stuff, the more chances you have and more sales. Not everyone's going to grow at the same time. So let me review all that before I take all your feedback. One is your mindset. Be willing to go to the very end, and that's your heart. And you set that goal and you go all in. You repeat, you put it's possible. You put it up everywhere. Like when I have my goals up here, it's all around me. Liz, you've been in my home. You can attest to this, right?
Yes.
It's on the fridge. It's on my phone. It's on my laptop. It's on the papers all around me because it's okay to me that it looks maybe a little weird to somebody who comes in my home because I hit goals that are awesome. And then the other thing is just some strategies really fast. If you need cash fast, apps like Venmo and Cash App are great. Having a one-day sale offering, a very clear-cut one thing that you're offering, say this is a Venmo only 24-hour sale. Get that cash in hand fast. You don't have to go through a long invoice. You don't have to go through a long funnel. If you need that cash today or tomorrow, that's okay. And so I just want to give everyone permission to do things a little differently when you want to hustle it. If you don't need to, great, but I still recommend staying consistent, just like Jeff talked about, and even Liz, the quiet time breathing. The same with your business. Don't call it in right now. Even if your minimum is you're posting daily for January 2nd on the Monday or Tuesday, whenever that is, you will actually be in a much better place to be picking up the harvest rather than having to hustle then. And that's no fun. So that's my business tip for bringing in that cash. You guys have any feedback, any thoughts? You guys are like, we need to do it. Yeah, you guys are like so quiet after mine.
Well, we're still absorbing.
It was a lot.
You give us a lot of good stuff, but I really like the reminders to not pull up short of your goal. Mm-hmm. And I had the 1 year I ran track. The coach said, Liz, this is not your finish line. Your finish line is way over here. Because as the closer I got, I got this, I slowed down. So driving forward. Yeah, it was the power, just set your goal a little further. So I love that. It's a good reminder just to keep my energy up and don't pull up short. Don't pull up on Wednesday or after,
I really appreciated the permission to experiment and to be free to try alternative methods besides just getting your funnel and all your systems in place. And like, there's so many ways that we can be free to try things. And that's one of the things I appreciate about you, Tiana, is I see you trying and experimenting a lot of different things. This conversation is an example of that. That came out a little out of left field, like yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
And you executed on it, and here we are. So, you know, we can be a little bit more free to try different things.
Thank you. That's very intuitive of you to do that. I woke up at 1:30 this morning, I think, because I felt like I had like something woke me up, and I was just like, I have to make that image for us. I was like, and then I like got all the emails ready, and you guys were probably like getting the messages this morning first thing, like, when did Tiana wake up today? I did go back to sleep. I went back to sleep at 6:30. I was like, my job here is done. I shall rest again. But like, it's like, I think that like that part of it. So yeah, we can be free. And, you know, I think the systems, the fun thing I love about my systems and the funnels and the pieces in place is those always work. They do. But sometimes we need to push things a little bit, and we need a creative other thing. And I love it because it keeps the foundation. If you even think of it like a home, like you need a home to live in. It needs to be built. It needs to work for you, but you can decorate it different ways. And right. And so that's fun, and it's impromptu, and you can have other people over, and it's exciting then, and it's collaboration. So I'm so grateful each of you last minute. Let's hear props to all of them and to each of you for showing up within 24 hours and being really on the ball with this. I'm super impressed. Good things are in your future.
We appreciate the invite. I appreciate the invite.
If I had like like one of those hands, like those sport hands, I would wave it right now. It's the six-figure club. I need a sport. I'm gonna get one. You're all gonna get one. Whenever I get yes, to the fire. I want to see club one.
That's a good toy. I like that.
Like that a lot too. Jules, I feel like you were saying something, or you get to.
Oh.
I sense something from you, Jules.
Okay. Well, I do want to say that that I'm not always the best at following in the order that you give it, but I will say when you do work the system, it absolutely does work.
That's amazing how that happens.
And it's like, oh my gosh, this works. Why don't I do this more often?
I know you've messaged me so many times, Jules, where you're like, I got this new media interview. I got all these sales when I showed up for 1 hour. I'm like, I'm doing it every day. Amazing. I know. And, you know, it's one of those things like I was talking about this with friends, and I've talked about it with each of you privately, as well as in the six-figure club in our group. You know, it's the simple basics sometimes, and I don't know why. And we need a new affirmation. It's so easy for me to do my power hour. I don't know, like just grill it in. Like, why is that so hard? Because it always works and it's always effective. And it's like going to the gym though. We know we should eat a certain way, and we should go to the gym, and we should exercise, and we invest in these things. But I truly believe, and you see it and you hear people talk about it, those simple things that change your body, change your life, change your relationships. Even like Liz's quiz, like your couples thing, like when you go through, you're like, yeah, that sounds good. That's simple. I can do that. Why aren't we doing it? So I want to encourage everyone listening to this. Like, we have action steps for you. You know, you can reach out to me if you want to be in the six-figure club. Liz has an amazing couples, which you can, she also has a new Power Women free offers coming out soon, but you could get on her list. And if you want to reconnect with your partner this season, and Jules with Etiquette, I know your funnel will be up soon. And, you know, Jeff's is up about really, he can guide you through the new year. And I know that's a lot of information, but your relationships, your dreams, and how you show up for yourself and others is imperative, and it's important to all of us. And so that's why I pulled together these people, because each of us is specialists in our fields, and we care about you, and we love our clients, and we love ourselves, and we love the world. And so I just want to say, like, take action. Don't just listen to what we're saying, and take action to make a change. It's like the Michael Jackson song, I'm gonna make a change. I could end with that. I will tell you, man in the mirror could come out right now. It's gonna happen. Just give me a minute. But I mean, like, what would you all say about like, yeah, I just think it's really important. Like one thing that's essential to me is I'm pulling up these chords because it will happen at the end. Be ready for Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror, everyone, just a little teaser. Yeah, because if we listen to things and we read books and we do things, but we don't change, what's the point? I was actually talking to my trainer yesterday at the gym. He's got the cool Mind Over Matter shirt that I've been posting, in which is really exciting. And he's 26. He's this new entrepreneur, and I want to support him. He was saying, when you look at the gym, though, he says, you usually see people come in like January, and by April, even if they've been coming, they've not even changed their bodies, not even a little bit. And you can usually look around the gym. So that's people actually coming, but who's actually working there? Because when you want to do something different than what you've done, you need to exert something different. When you build a plane to take off, it takes a different level. We all feel it when we're going back in the plane, right? It's like, what? So this is why, whether it's your partnership, if you need to get something back on track, you're going to have to take some next level, whoa, kind of steps, And the same if you're going to a party, you're going to not maybe expect them to drink your wine. And like, if you want to plan your new year, you might need to be in gratitude about yourself and also look at the future and change the way you think. And in business, if you want to make that cash, then maybe you are showing up on December 24th. But no offense, I think it's better than going and getting a full-time job for somebody else. So sometimes we have to sacrifice our current needs or our current selfish desires for our bigger picture goals, right? So I just want to encourage everyone to take action, to follow Dr. Liz Jenkins, to follow Jules Hurst, to follow Jeff Meyer, to go follow them. I'm going to tag them in my thing. Do you guys have any thoughts about any of that before we, wrap it up with music? A non-Christmas song.
Work the system because, every single day you have total control of your future and your outcome. So systems are there for a reason.
Systems are there for a reason.
We're already well educated beyond our obedience, right? We've got all the education and all the insight we need. We need to put the insight into action if we're gonna transform anything, ourselves or anybody else. So act. Don't just think about it. You thought about it for way too long.
Right.
Take
Just
action.
set the time aside.
Yeah.
Put that phone in the basket. Also a Jules tip. I didn't want to end with just not drinking the wine, Jules. Yeah. And like put the phone in a basket, put it on Wi-Fi in another room and go through these checklists. We're giving tools and we're not charging for it. You can hire any of us in our field. We will take your money, Venmo, Cash App, QuickBooks, credit card, bank transfer, cash. You can fly out here. It's only 20K. But the thing is that we'll take it, but we're giving this because we want to use our gifts that we've all poured into to change the world. Am I right? Is Tiana right?
Tiana's right.
Yes,
Did I hear an amen? What day?
right.
Gonna make a change for once in my life. Do you guys know this song?
Oh yeah.
I think we should go through the chorus. Let's see. It's gonna feel. Jules is like she's doing it. I am. It's gonna feel real good. Gonna make a difference. Gonna make it right. This brings me so back to my childhood as I turn up the color on my favorite winter coat. This wind is blowing my mind. Is it blowing your mind? I can see the kids in the street, not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? Woo! A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and a one-man soul. Did you guys know that part? A one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, ready? Cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know. I'm starting with the
Man in the mirror.
yeah, I'm asking him to change his ways. Yeah, no
message could have been any clearer.
you want to make the world a better
Place.
take a look at yourself and then make that change. Woo! na 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 na. Jeff, I really
Wow.
appreciate that with me. Like that was really nice. I did not
Yeah.
practice that key. It was a little high, and Jeff, you came in right at the right time. You know, I love that song because it's about making a change. And it's like when we change ourselves, I'm so passionate about this. When we change ourselves, people are watching us, whether they ever buy from you, whether they ever see you again. When you smile and you love and you are a good hostess and you're loving to the hostess, when you love your partner and you do the hard things like Liz, you don't even know how she takes care of her husband and her family. It's incredible. And Jeff, and the way you've shown up, even how I met Jeff is incredible. Like there's miracles upon miracles upon miracles. I love that song too. Miracles, miracles. If you don't know it, it's okay. Look it up. I always sing
Everything's a song.
Everything's a song. Well, if everybody doesn't know, I'm a singer songwriter and I think in song and I breathe in song and it just happens. But you know, you make a change when you act, just like Jeff says, like when you act different than what we're seeing. So I just am so grateful that each of you has changed my life, for showing up, for offering your time like this to me and to others. So go follow them. Any closing thoughts? Are you guys good? I'm just so appreciative for each of you, for Liz, for Jeff, for Jules. Thank you for generosity and coming.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank
And
you
it's
for
like,
the invitation.
yeah. And what you give comes back, because what I give with my family, husband, daughters, it all comes back. And when I give out into the world with my clients, I get it all back too. So
Love, freely giving it, you get
Yeah.
it back, you know. Maybe not your wine, Jeff, but
I'm still wondering if they're drinking it.
I know, right?
now.
You're like, at least give it back to me if you
Yeah.
don't like it. So
But at least in Jules' world, we get our phones back.
yeah,
right?
hopefully.
Yes, you do.
Nobody forgets
Okay.
about their phone. Everyone's like knocking on the door. Like a really fun game would be like, oh no, we lost the basket of phones, and everybody like goes crazy.
Yeah,
They're
that's
like
funny.
the hunt, the hunt for the basket of phones. That's
There we go.
awesome. I'm gonna put all their links, so everyone's watching this. I'm gonna put all their links in the comments for their free
Okay.
offers, and then I'm also going to send an email for everyone who registered with a link to a page with all their goodies, so that Liz and
Yay.
Jules and Jeff you can learn more about them and definitely follow them because they're gold, as you can tell. So have
Thank
a
you.
great holidays, happy holidays, and take some time for you. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
You
Thank
guys
you.
stay on for 1 second. I'm going to just stop the recording and stop the live.